You're fine.
Okay. And then I need to have the, please take us through the agenda.
Yes. I sent out the agenda. I invited some guests, and I want to thank them for coming. There have been a couple of changes to the agenda. We have the call to order, the review and the approval of the minutes, the financial report with Becky Garland, and I'm so glad she was able to join us today because she does have a conflict and needs to get over to another meeting, as well as Connie. Anybody for public comment? Under old business, we'll be discussing the brochure availability, occupancy tax increase, the Western Carolina University Tourism Expo report from Beth. Under new business, we'll be getting an update from myself, discussing travel expenses and reimbursements, the next budget workshop meeting, the dates and times, as well as the following regular board scheduled meeting. There is a conflict with the opt-in regional meeting that we need to discuss a change in date or time. And then any other business that the board deems necessary, and we could go into closed session if the board deems necessary. Do we need to make any changes to that agenda? Any additions? Okay, and I'm not sure if I don't know how long Becky can stay for the occupancy tax discussion, so we might have to postpone that till Monday at the budget workshop.
Well, you want to add it in with the minutes?
I was going to say, if I could move it,
Okay.
and I don't really have a whole lot to report there, but if I could do it with the finance report, because I've got a meeting at Western on Monday.
Okay.
And if it's okay, maybe the travel expense reimbursements we can move while you're here if we have time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Lump it all in.
Sure.
Those three.
Yeah.
If that's okay
Motion
with
to
you.
approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Would everybody like to take just a minute to read over the minutes for your approval? They were emailed out yesterday, and after we get them approved, Nancy's going to attempt to help me get those put on the website, and we'll have a running, we'll get all of our back minutes on the website.
I'll be glad to read them, but just let Becky go ahead.
Okay.
And then I'll read the minutes and we'll get them approved. How's that? Okay? All right.
Okay. All right, so I really appreciate the board working with me. I've had multiple meetings today, and I'm having to be several people at one time. This is the financial report through March 31st of 2014, and I have updated it through today. At the end of March, we had $98,697 in the checking account and the money market account. And we have about $7,000, a little over $7,000 that's been transferred into the capital reserve account. We have about, actually, this changed just before I came. We had about $2,900 in deposits for the March occupancy, but I got another $900 in just as I was getting ready to leave and didn't have time to change my report. And then after we transfer salaries, and we've paid several bills in April, we have available cash of $80,188.82 plus the $900 I just got in, which is a little ahead of this time last year when we had $73,400 in the bank. Our occupancy collections through the end of, well, actually, yeah, through the end of, as of today, sorry, are $91,219. We are behind. We have fallen behind this time last year. It was at 97.1. However, we had, this time last year, we had gotten some back collections in, so that kind of skewed it off a little bit. We do have one taxpayer who is behind a couple of months for a total of $10,122. I have spoken with them a couple of times, and they are working diligently to get that paid up and caught up by the end of this month. We did have another taxpayer that was behind just a few $100s, but they were able to get that collected. You want to flip to the second page. We are running, we've had a total revenues collected and deposited through the end of March of $91,540. We've had total expenditures of $93,570, so we're at a small deficit of $2,029. That's about the same as where we were this time last year. In your budget, if you want to flip to the third page, this is through Monday. You've expended, your total budget is $157,500. You've expended $98,900, and so you have about $58,500 left in the budget. If you'll remember, part of that budget was about $27,500 in fund balance that we pulled forward. So you basically have, as I said, $58,500 left in your budget. Your ideal remaining percentage would be at 21%. So you are staying well within budget. You're at 37%. So I know we had some discussion this time last month about were there any new expenditures or things that you wanted to do before year end that maybe you had held in reserve until you could see how you were doing. So there is some room there, I think, unless there's stuff I don't know about that you've already committed to that would allow that. If you, or you could just hold fast where you are and then have that fund balance to pull forward for next year. Any questions on that? Okay. I did bring to the board the occupancy tax payment ledger. I'm going to have to go in. There's a few taxpayers that have forgotten that even if they don't have any activity, they need to send in a report. So I'm going to try my very level best this month to send in reminder slips that even if they had no activity, they need to report in just for our statistical purposes and so that we know they're still on the ranks. So I'm going to try to get that accomplished this month. It always seems like it happens in the months of February and March because people kind of think, oh, nothing's going on, and they don't really care, but we really need to know this information so that we know who is active on our scroll. Any questions about that? That's just for you to take home and review. I'm going to skip down to the occupancy tax increase. Personally, I don't really have anything new to
I think with everything along with Stanley, it's just kind of, we're on hold.
well,
honestly.
I mean, I
There's
don't
not
have
enough-
anything new to report.
And there's no energy to kind of continue in that path when we're, you know, there's another pressing issue.
Yeah. I mean, I think that might be a good topic for the board to maybe speak to Greg Cable about, because I know he's been working with the General Assembly.
And he did say by your recommendation that he would be willing to come and speak.
Right, right. So, as far as that's concerned, I don't have anything to report.
I do think the one thing that was interesting from the occupancy tax webinar that we did, that all of our late fees guys go to the school
Go to the
system.
school system.
So increasing late fees.
Doesn't help us. And that's something that was, I mean, that we have to do that from the county government level, so that was really some new information that I don't think anybody was aware of. Statewide, I think all the authorities thought that we've been hanging on to them.
So we owe school.
Yeah.
Do you know how much?
It's only maybe $3,000 or $4,000.
Okay.
Not a huge balance. I think everybody was caught by surprise, even the people that were moderating the webinar, that this has to go to school. And Kara Malonzi said any body politic has to turn penalties into the schools. So we'll have to go back and true that up with the school system.
So Becky, does that mean then they control those funds? We don't have.
Right. That goes into their general fund.
Was there anything else you can think of that was like a, whoa?
I think they clarified in the webinar They clarified the administrative percentage, which has come up several times with our board, that truly is the percentage that the local county can charge. Like in our case, the old statute was 15%, then it got changed to 10%, that the county can charge back to the TNT for my salary and for all of our salaries to administer the occupancy tax. And of course, we already had that discussion with the possibility of the county bringing in more staffing in the finance office, that TNT could potentially reimburse the county for part of that person's salary, since they'll be assisting me with doing a lot of the lower level work.
So we've got the budget meeting planned for.
There'll be a few others, but there's another one on the 21st on Monday.
That is on Monday. You have to be at Western on Monday. I have to be at Western on Monday, and I think it'd probably be good if, I don't know how much time you can spend with us on budget, but I think we need you here quite a bit. What do you guys think? Yeah. So would it be possible to reschedule that?
We do have a lot of, I have a mailbox thing full of materials just to sift through, and does this seem like a good idea?
Yeah.
We have a lot of things to just go through.
Okay.
So we could still have it,
guys for that.
we could do the budget workshop, do some work around it, and then we'll
be more
hold off.
prepared.
We talked about that at the last budget workshop about the county reimbursement.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's what we decided, was that we weren't really gonna do anything if we didn't feel
Set
like
in stone.
we really had extra funds,
Yeah.
that we would just carry that forward.
Right.
Okay. So you guys can weed out a lot of things.
I think so. If you guys
It's
don't
about
have-
a meeting and a half right now. With Stanley.
No, that's definitely not.
Larry, and we need to be there.
Yeah,
We have to
we
be
do.
there.
Well, if we can do some work preliminarily,
Yeah,
y'all are
sure.
gone, I think we could, are you still okay with Monday?
Meetings planned. Will you be setting the next schedule?
Yes, so I'll check with your schedules before I
Okay.
try and make we'll try and get a few dates together and just be sure it doesn't
Okay.
conflict with the people coming to visit us.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that was
I
good.
understand that it's we're trying to find the right path here.
Right, no.
Yeah, we must.
You have to be able to.
Yeah, we have to stand. Did you want to discuss the
Yeah.
reimbursements while I'm here?
Yes, the last, when we had the budget workshop meeting, there was some question about travel reimbursement, especially around reimbursements to Tabitha, and then also for the Visa card. And I think you were there when we asked you about who approves that. And one of the things that we also discussed is having a uniform expense report, kind of like what the county uses, so that we're consistent with the county in reimbursement for travel expenses. Like,
That was in place, I don't know how it got way late, but it was in place. I know you're.
And that's what I was hoping to clarify, is that here's where I am. And this is not only just a reimbursement aspect, but budgeting as well. And this can come into our budget discussions and workshop, is that as the board is planning, whatever shows that Tabitha or whoever you send them to, that there be some real good guidance to whoever's doing the shows as far as what the total reimbursement for meals and not just from an accountability standpoint, but from a budgeting standpoint, so that we can have a little bit better control over this time next year, knowing what we're spending and what we're getting out of the efforts. And I just wanted to clarify or make sure that when we're, like if we send, and this is for her protection, Tabitha or whoever, what those parameters are, and verify that we are following the county policy.
It is the same as the
Okay.
county policy.
Okay. So
And that
that,
was voted in.
right.
I don't know if it has been changed, but I know that it was put in place, you probably did.
Okay, so that we're sticking with $38 per day for meals and, whatever you wanna try to, I mean, I think it's important for you to give some parameter and leeway on hotel costs and what have you, just to protect everybody involved. And then I'm working on, I know you had requested getting copies of those, and I'm gonna have those ready for you at your budget workshop for Monday morning.
Okay.
So I'll have those in your box.
And
Just so
maybe
you
that
can go
county
through.
policy, so that we
Yeah.
can make sure that,
Yeah. But that's just me talking as a finance officer, just to ensure that we're staying within the parameters of what we need to be spending. And then thinking too, as well, that if you send someone to a really high-cost area, where it's almost impossible to feed somebody at the $38 per day, if the IRS looks at it, at that area as a high-cost area, should you come up with a kind of an alternate schedule, you know? If
Because
that's,
it is very, I found Charlotte, I couldn't believe the travel expense in Charlotte. Did you find the same thing with Food General in the downtown area? And it was very expensive, I thought. And then the same thing, well, it just, almost any city, Atlanta was kind of the same way. If, at the end of the day, after those shows, you're just so tired, you just want to go back to your room and kind of relax sometimes, and you look at some of the price points, and they are quite expensive when you're in the downtown civic center type area.
Well, you can use the county allowance and then decide what you want to do. Yeah, but we did put that policy in.
so I just want to, and then I just want to make sure that when we're doing, when I'm advising you on doing your budget, that you really work hard on, you know, if you decide you're going to go to this show in Charlotte, knowing what it's going to cost and budget appropriately.
I think we had talked in the budget workshop too about, okay, if, to say for a figure, $20,000 going to be spent on shows, that we would break that out into kind of subcategories. Okay, the Leesburg show is this, the what, you know, and that we would have a budget for each one of those, where we really haven't had that. It's all been lumped into one. And that's kind of how
Each of the
the
expenditures.
right, and that's kind of how.
And that's what a budget officer needs to see.
Yes. And that's kind of how the discussion started, was that, I think it was Barry, was like, well, what are these? And since we don't see them, or haven't seen them, that we need to know so that we can budget effectively for next year.
So that's just kind of where I'm at in trying to help the board.
Well, we traveled to Raleigh and Greensboro and Winston-Salem, and I know what you're talking about the cost. But anything over and above the county's guidelines, we pay for it ourselves.
Yeah, we do that too.
And that's the policy that we adopted.
And that's about all I have for now, unless you have some questions for me. And, but I'll just go ahead and put that in Tyler's box,
Okay,
with
that'd be
copies
great.
for everybody, and that way you'll have it.
Thank you so much.
And if you'll make it any extra than just the board, because I've got a feeling there might be some accommodation partners coming to play along.
To the budget workshop, okay. We can do it. All right. Anything else? Okay, I'm gonna go to my next stop.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Hope it goes well. Tell the school you're bringing in money, they'll like you.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay, getting back on topic, I want to look over the minutes real quick. Not much has changed from when I sent them out the other day. Above your signature lines, I had said there was no video, so I did take that off because there is a video of last month. So that was really the only change from when I emailed it out to you.
hospital?
He had
Mhm.
stroke, I think, is what I heard. Mini stroke, TIA. He's fragile, John.
Yeah, I see him pretty regularly. You know, he's
Mhm.
pretty amazing at
Mhm.
77 or 78. He's pretty
Right.
going, but I see it.
Change.
Issues. I was with Nina and him a week ago, but she's not doing good either.
While we're reading this, were you able to get the brochure picked up?
No, the brochure put together has taken the publisher a little bit longer than what we originally had anticipated. And me being out of town on vacation last week, and trying to work through a small cell phone, but I'm open to them. They have my cell phone. I thought they were going to get here today. I told Beth that this morning so I could share them with you. But anytime that they're available, they have my cell phone so I can meet them at Travel and Tourism. At the latest, it'll be Monday, but that's good for me to go on the show and the ladies to get the mailings out.
Did you want more?
I will be when I get back from Leesburg. I think we had already discussed that and said to go ahead with that, so when I get back. I just wanted them to get done with these projects and not feel like there's all this stuff up there, so. Yes. And if you guys come get them by the time somebody else comes in to get some, we should have more by then. They just need to get on those projects.
How many other discussions? The MDT and ART and DOT.
We communicate pretty regularly when necessary through email, Teresa, myself, and Jessica. Teresa was here before we talked for about 10 minutes.
Okay. We're down to the voting place.
And I will pass this down with a blue pen for everybody to sign, if you could, please.
And I will make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Thank you guys for signing that. And Mrs. Beckner, as our guest, is there anything that you would like to say during public comment to the board? Is there any discussions that you're, and do you know everybody on the board?
No, I was going to ask if they were going to introduce themselves.
Yes, yes. Let's start down there with John.
I'm John Cowell from the Iron Horse Motorcycle Line.
I'm Beth from Soquel Valley Center. We know each other.
And I'm Darlene Waycaster from Fontana Village.
And I'm Connie Orr,
Yes.
County Commissioner.
And then you know me because I was your insurance agent and then you come in and visit with me.
I'm Sherry Beckner, and I have a little vacation rental, and I don't know enough about what the board does. I don't know enough about how changes are made. But the only thing I would say is that please keep your communication open to those of us who don't know what's happening. I'm always charging the wrong amount of occupancy taxes, for instance, because I wasn't for a long time, I simply wasn't sure. Gossip around told me the charges were one thing, and then of course they were another. So, and a couple of times I had to pay Becky some late fees because I simply forgot to send the thing in January. I mean, nothing was happening, so I didn't think about it. So, thank you for keeping this an open meeting. I had tried to get a couple of other people to come today, but they had other things. I appreciate
thank you for your involvement, that's awesome.
Where is your rental unit?
It's over on Fletcher Hooper Road. Do
Okay.
you know the old Norma old
I do.
property? That's
I do. You?
Thank you.
Well, thanks again for being here. I hope the information that you hear today helps you and kind of sees the way the board works. And always drop in and see me if you've got any questions. That's why myself and Joy will be glad to help you.
One strength that you really probably don't know is that I call up all the time. People are saying, what have you got? What am I going to eat when I'm up there? That sort of thing. So I'm forever calling your office to have brochures and so forth sent out. And that's a really important service, and I don't think that people acknowledge that enough. You do a great job of that.
We appreciate that. All right, no one else here today. That's up to you, Madam Chair. Okay.
You're the one with the finger on the pulse of this, so if I want to talk about the brochures, I think I asked about that already. Because someone asked me if I was going to Asheville, that they might be ready. And didn't know
I do
that
have
yet.
something exciting in Asheville. You can go to regular Clark's and pick up a box if you wanted to pass out to anybody.
Yeah, they're not going to be there in the next little while, I don't think.
Okay.
Where is Clark's?
It's in the industrial section near Patton Avenue and Leesburg Highway, kind of tucked in there. I think there was a water plant back in there. It's just a couple of little stair-step turns right in that Patton Avenue, old Leesburg highway.
Is that a street?
Yeah, they kind of come in.
Okay, if you're on Patton, is it a
If you're heading back out towards 40, from downtown headed back out towards 40, you would pass by like the Ryan Steakhouse. I think it's some sort of grocery store, and you would turn to the right.
It's down on the old 1923.
Okay.
If you go by Ryan's, yeah, it would be.
Yeah, you turn to the right, that next road. So it's right a couple of step turns away from there. If you plug it into your GPS or your phone, it'll get you there.
Do you have a projected date for getting those? You said
Honestly,
I pick up the box, there is some of them
Honestly,
ready?
they're gonna bring them to us,
Okay.
but I'm just waiting to get the call to come to the Travel and Tourism Center to let them in. They were still inputting the stuffers and tabbing them, because that is a manual process.
You said by Monday you had.
Oh, yeah, because I got to pack up on Tuesday. They knew that was D-Day. But, did any of you get to see your email from Nancy Johnson? That was a really cool, I reported to the board in March that I was researching a couple of software packages online for getting brochures to be flippable. So it looks like a book, like you would
It's a
look at
digital
any
brochure.
Yeah. And so Nancy has now been playing with the software. She has found one that she really likes. And what we're envisioning now is a part component of the website having the digital rack brochure display, and you being able to pick whichever brochure from every hotel in the county and to be able to flip through their brochure and it be just as crisp as it, and almost, if you got a bigger screen, just as big as in your hands. And we're really thinking it's on your emails. Tail of the Dragon and Travel and Tourism. I'm a big co-op person. Share the expense, so you don't have to pay all the money yourself. We're going to share the expense because it will benefit the accommodation partners, and then it will also benefit her business partners that she has as well, which are most of our partners. So we're going to share that expense. I think it came out where each of us would pay about $350, and that allows us to online at the website. And that's real powerful because that's less printing, less mailing, less touching, less sending out.
And 95% of our people come from
And it's all it is whoever holds your PDF file is all we have to do, or if you hold, you just send it to Nancy. And then she uploads the PDF file and it makes it flippable.
If each partner has to pay the $300.
This is a
The travel and
fee,
tourism pays the $300.
and then everybody gets to benefit.
Everybody. Very good.
Yeah.
Those are the type of things that need to be shared with all the different partners. Because they're not gonna know about them unless they're here.
So, can you email that to every
Can.
single person that you have an address for on this list of collections?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got that set up after the last meeting, so I can. That's how Mrs. Beckner's here, because I invited in all the accommodation partners that are local.
Okay.
To the meeting.
Got an email.
That's right.
So what if we, this is off subject, but early in our meeting, maybe if we come up with a list of things that we do already to add with that before you send it out, and then send it out, so that these type of things, people can see what is in.
Which leads to another comment. Most counties have these. I just found out about them not too long ago, but they have a marketing plan, and then they have an end of the year report out. So I've been working on our end of year report out with like all the different magazine printout publications that we've done, a list of like developing our relationship with the Department of Commerce. We hosted that French travel writer. We hosted the Charlie Borden show. You know, the I Love Graham County, the road trip, and I have an ongoing list of all these things that we've accomplished this past year. And I want to be able to put that into some sort of a PDF that we can get out to the accommodation
Send that
partners.
on that same missive or communicate. Okay. And yeah, that help eliminate mistakes.
It won't be fancy, but at least everybody will know what we did.
I think a year-end report for any board or organization is, you know, to let the public or the, you know, whoever we're serving know what we've been spending the money.
And what I probably would like to do is to send it out preliminarily to you guys, just to be sure that I didn't forget anything, because sometimes the year gets really big and you kind of forget about some of your accomplishments. You know, trying to go back through emails and calendars to look for the big highlighted items to trigger things in my head, but I don't want to forget anything, because, yeah,
To see who, you've got your list and let everybody.
finalize it.
Yeah.
There, that'd be great.
You can send what you have,
Okay. Yeah.
And then are we still on for the May 6th meet and greet?
If you guys want to be, but from what I was told by a few people that responded to email in person and over the phone, is that I need to build my personal relationship with the accommodations a little bit more before we have one of those, because the relationship that we are now starting to do is not there yet. So I don't think we'll have a very good turnout. But maybe
The board had agreed to hold a meet and greet with the accommodation partners, because there's some new board members that don't know the accommodation partners and vice versa. And so the reason I was asking that is because that would be a great time to give a report, and that would give us a little more time to get that together. And we were talking, Stowe Valley Center had offered to provide the space to do that on May the 6th, and it would be an evening event at 6 o'clock.
what do you think?
I think we can do it.
I think we should do it.
We gotta start somewhere.
Well, and that's what we had said, is, yeah, the people
Would
that,
you come to that and invite some of your friends that are accommodation partners to come? Would you like a meet and greet?
I think that'd be great.
Okay.
And I think it's up to us as board members to get that information out and try to get people to come, as well as like an email that's sent.
and we had talked about doing a snail mail invitation. So if we haven't done that, we need to do that.
It's on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And what time?
It's at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. What about the refreshments? We have budget for that?
We talked about that we would budget for 50 people, and it depends on what we want to do. Yeah, I think so. We'll provide the space for free, no charge, and then we can do the refreshments. But when we approved having the meet and greet, we did approve 50 people. So we haven't gotten together a menu, but we would plan for that many. That's why we
Yeah.
You can bring the job in.
Okay.
And I think it would be important to have the county commission invited and give, if we can have some type of year-end or close to year-end report, like what you're talking about, Tabitha, that we can do there in the auditorium and show these things on the screen in color.
You have that capacity. Okay. So that'd be ideal.
Finally.
And if we have 10, if we have 15,
That's right, we
20,
have to start
we
somewhere.
start and we make it an annual event.
Yes, and I just think then when word gets out that, hey, we had this and this is all the good things, I mean, we do need positive
Absolutely.
feedback from folks and positive action on our part.
Right.
That was
And
kind
too, because they're full of our budget, what we want us.
of some new ideas too.
Mhm.
I mean, we always seem to get really good ideas when we have just kind of open things like that.
Actually, people are more open to just talking to each other.
Mhm.
And it's gonna trickle down to us. We're gonna get it, I'm sure.
Just regular envelope from Travel and Tourism with an invitation letter.
You might, if we have our new brochure, it would be really neat to plug that in.
Okay.
When are those supposed to be done? Or are they?
Monday or tomorrow or Saturday, Sunday. They have my number. As soon as I get it, I'll meet them at Travel and Tourism. I don't care what time. They know that. Yeah.
They deliver them to you?
Yes, for free.
That's good.
And they're warehousing the other ones, so we don't have to put it in a stinky plant up on top of the hill. For free.
All right,
That's nice.
good.
Good
Well,
partner.
keep up with the inventory.
Yeah.
A lot of times that can get lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good idea, John. That's something that Joey can do, is keep an inventory on those brochures. That certainly needs to be done.
Should be so many per box and so many boxes. Should be on a pallet, stretch wrapped, and identified.
Okay.
Okay. Anything more on that?
No, ma'am.
We'll just back to that. You want to give us an update on the Tourism Expo?
Yeah, that was last Friday at Western, and I have this workbook, and I have mine, and then I have this extra copy that I brought for Tabitha. But the conference was Tourism Works for Western North Carolina, and it's basically a report card by county. And I just wanted to get on the record the Graham County economic fact sheet. And this is for the 25 westernmost counties. So each county got this report card. This is a study that was conducted by Western for the year 2012. So it's pretty current information, more current than the Department of Commerce has. So the tourism activity in the county generated $24.84 million per year in direct tourist spending, produced $4.12 million per year in worker income and paychecks. This is just tourism. $1.59 million per year in local county tax revenues, $1.14 million in state tax revenue, $2.73 million in combined state and local taxes, which are those two numbers I just gave you, and generated 260 jobs, and that would be equivalent, part-time, full-time equivalents. So it may likely be more jobs, but some are part-time, so that would be 260 full-time equivalents.
She brought you brought one of those brochures for Tabitha, right?
This is hers.
That is hers. Okay, I want a copy of that.
Yeah, and
We'll make that.
we can probably order more just that day. So on an average day in 2012, this is any average day, so they've taken the slow time and the busy time, generated $7,479 a day in combined state and local tax revenue, $4,356 daily in local county tax revenue, $3,123 in state tax revenue, and $11,288 per day in worker paychecks. And so then all this is broken down in a 5-year trend
for tourist spending, and a lot of that is from, and it notes the sources here, which I can look at. So it's clear that tourism does generate a lot of money in the county. I know that this was presented, or part of this was presented at the great annual meeting in January, and trying to make the correlation between what residents pay in taxes would be a $460 tax saving. If we didn't have tourism, we would each be paying as taxpayers
Almost $500.
almost $500 more per resident or per household. And that was based on 5,935 households. So it's just very interesting information. The jobs number I thought was very interesting from the opt-in results that I think it was 891 jobs are in-county jobs on a daily basis. So if you take away, and I'm just saying, I'm praying for Stanley Furniture to survive too, but if you take away the 360 some odd jobs from that 900, I mean, if you do the math on that, then the remaining jobs in Grant County are half tourism. And so the other part of that opt-in results, which we've never really had a market study, so if you really look at those numbers closely, the leakage that we have, $34 million in leakage that is going out of the county every year, and that's us. That's tourism. That's sending people to, other counties.
Clothes, groceries,
yes.
everything.
So I think that we definitely can make an impact on lessening that leakage through tourism. And that's, we talked at the last meeting about this tourism plan. We've got one grant application in through the great organization, and there's another one that's due next Friday. I talked with Tabitha about that, so that we make sure if this would be an RFP out to, we had some discussion about different groups that could help us with that. So it would be an RFP that would be out to marketing firms or whoever may be able to help us with that. But I think we have to have a plan in place, and that plan is going to have to address these results, how we get past something like Stanley, and how we stop letting money go out. So y'all are more than welcome to have this. And maybe we can make copies.
You just
I
scan
think we
it.
could
send it
make
to me.
copies very easily, yeah.
I don't know
That would
that
be
we
a problem.
really need the other counties'
No,
information.
maybe the ones next to us would be
I think it would be.
Yeah.
I think it would be. And one of the, when you look at Swain County's numbers in there, I talked to some Swain County folks, and they were like, well, if the tribe was, taken out of that, then their numbers would look closer to ours. Yeah, they were wondering too.
And actually, Dr. Morris did say at one point he would be willing to do that for us just so we could see a comparison. And I'm sure Swain probably wants it done as well.
Another thing that came out of the meeting is working with the folks that are close to you. So in other words, it's, you have, other places are collecting occupancy tax revenue. So if you can work with Swain County or Cherokee County or the places that are close to you, that helps build whatever it is that you're trying to do. There's a lot of things we do different. They have a train in Swain County, they have rafting, but we have some other things too. So there's got to be some, the motor tourism. That's definitely shared with Swain and Grant County. So instead of each county putting in individual resources, that maybe we can figure out a way that we can do some things together.
I do have a great relationship with Lynn Collins out at Haywood. And I have a fairly decent relationship with the ladies in Swain, only looking to make that one stronger. And then there's other people to reach out to, but I'm trying to give Cherokee a little bit of rent because with everything they've got going on with their casino, they're all real busy, they don't need me. Hey, let's work on this together. They need to get down the road with some of their projects before I have a meet and greet with them.
I am told that the opening day for the casino in Murphy will be July 15th.
2015?
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
In July.
Yeah. It's hard to believe it'll be up in here, but.
They were building the bridge across the creek yesterday.
I heard that the tribe was looking at Stanley, the Stanley project.
That is one of the people we're speaking with, John. It is.
What's the potential for that to happen?
Same as the rest. They're looking at the facility and determining what they can do with it, what their needs are, and how they can make it their plans.
Okay. Is it a casino that they're?
No. Manufacturing.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That'd be good.
We've spoken to several furniture factories. The tribe, and another avenue that we're just starting to look at is like employee ownership. You might remember Champion Paper in Canton closed, and then the employees bought the plant, and it's been running well.
Okay.
Ever since.
Good.
So, we're not taking anything off the table, John.
Shouldn't do that.
So next is an update for me, and at our last meeting with Greg Cable, we were passed out employee performance evaluations. So I'm going to pass those out to you guys and email the folks that are not with us. I need for you, even though you're not in my office on a daily basis, to the best of your ability that this form allows you to do, if you could kindly get this employee evaluation sheet filled out for myself.
Take it to Greg.
Take it to Greg. Unless you would like to discuss with me, I always would like to, sometimes you think you're doing well in an area, so please don't feel like you're stepping on toes. I take constructive criticism very well. If there's something on there that you feel like I need to do a better job, because I might be in a totally different field of where I need to be versus where I view myself to be. So if you're going to make a bad mark, just let me know so I can work on it
Brace
this
yourself.
next year. Well, no, I'm a big girl.
Okay.
Been through, all of us have been through a lot of these. So.
Personally, you should strike number 9. Because that's really out of your control.
What is that?
Work environment and safety.
Oh, well, come on down to the office. Rhonda and Ted Theodore, I think, are going to come rearrange my office.
Okay. Well, I think that's a little out of your control, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so I will get on while you guys are looking through that one.
So you want this by next meeting, or?
I just think you need to try and get it to Greg. If you want to give it to me, and I'll give it to Greg. Whatever you're comfortable with. They just need them in our employee files, I think. And again, let me know if I need to send another piece of it.
I'm sorry to go off the subject. That's just something else to copy.
Okay. Can you get out to everybody? Blue Ridge National Heritage Area is what I'll be scanning in as well.
And one thing in the meeting that we had last week, I don't know if you picked it up, but the internship.
Yes.
That they get an intern to help.
I filled out one for travel and tourism and for
You
the
did?
center.
Okay.
Dr. Morse has students that are enrolled in the hospitality and tourism program there, and so they passed out requests for interns, and so the one I did for travel and tourism was to do some video, and
That'd be great.
what was the other thing at the last we were talking about, doing some video and something
Was it
else?
photography for the Real Scout?
I think I put photography, video, and like a consular service.
Okay.
And this will be an intern. It asked about pay, and I said, we can negotiate
I have
that.
it in the budget. We'll see if you guys agree.
Okay. For an intern?
Yeah. As something to
Tested
discuss. So.
a couple years ago, and actually it was just that, just internship, no pay.
Right. And
These didn't require pay. I think it was how many hours?
well, I thought it just said,
When he
are
was
you
talking
able to
about it.
pay?
Well, when he was talking about it, he said something about it. I have it written down. I was talking about it.
I think it
But
would
not a
be good.
whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a stipend for your summer work and something to put in your portfolio. That's good stuff. Every kid trying to get a job should appreciate that.
Well, I'm sure they
Yeah.
get video better than I do.
That's the one that we had to do it here.
Probably take a better picture too.
So So just to run through the things as an update of some of the happenings that have gone on this past month. I've been involved with the Great Recreation Committee on the Santilla Bike Trail opening. And we did make up some shirts and pass those out at the event. Ravonda was the travel and tourism representative for that while I was out of town. We've also been involved with the Great Recreation Committee on the overlooks conversation with the NCDOT and the Forest Service and the partnership for that. I did send that email forward to you guys for your review from David Dodson as the summary as to what's going on with those overlooks. Did everybody get that? Okay. We finished the I Love Graham County trunk ad for 2014, and to my understanding, I think that publication should be out next week's paper. That was the original deadline. That was the original publication date for that one. Was going to be the 24th of April. I met with Ted about another date for an additional hill climb. He has taken it back to the SCCA for their board to consider the weekend of July 11th and 12th. Daryl Killboy.com took him out to Oldfield Gap and some of the roads that lead down into Fontana, and they were very interested in the Oldfield Gap Road. They were going back to discuss some spectator areas, start and finish lines, and to see if they could fast track it with the Forest Service for their permitting. Since Ted's group does put on such a great event with great safety efforts, they've worked with him really well with his permitting, so there is a possibility that we might get another hill climb. I'll just have to wait and see what Ted reports back to us.
Where is Oldfield Gap?
It connects Yellow Creek Road and what's the one that starts Meadow Branch at the very closer to the Chiola River, that one that parallels Highway 129. Yeah.
Is that paved now?
It is paved.
Okay.
I was shocked last time I drove it too.
Well, the last time I drove it,
Well, there was an accident down on Highway 129, and they rerouted everybody Oldfield Gap, and I was like, I know I'm going to hit gravel, and I'm so surprised it was all paved.
Oh,
Great.
how many miles is that?
I'm not sure. He would only use like a 1.22 mile section.
Okay, that's all I need.
Yeah, that's all he needs. We finished up the ad for the full-page Leesburg Motorcycle Show handout brochure keepsake. We attended the occupancy tax webinar, already told you about the school system and the late fees. We gave a letter of support to Fontana for their grant on their water system. We worked up an ad for the AAA Go magazine. We worked up an ad for the Atlanta magazine for June.
Those gone. They've been sent.
Those are gone. They're not published yet. They're gone. The road tripping booth brochure. We participated, if you guys remember, in road tripping last year. Well, once a year, they put on a big show. I think it's that channel, WLOS, puts on like a health and welfare show. They had 9,200 people come into the show, and our brochures were there for pickup. So we sent out a packet to them, and so it was nice for road tripping to do that for us. I think that's a good group to partner with. And they have already solicited us for this next year.
Where was
And
that held?
in Asheville.
You know where?
It's in my email. I can get it to you,
Okay.
put it in your box.
Fairground? Technical traffic here.
I've worked some at the beginning more so than now with the county leadership on the Stanley closing. At one point, Ted Theodore from the SCCA Hill Climb came in to talk with Greg and Andy about actually going out and doing some free pitchman work for them because of his connections and ties in the furniture, the automotive tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and the kayak industry. Since the state has come in, Department of Commerce, really Ted has kind of backed off a little bit, but he will continue working with Andy and Greg because he just loves Graham County, wants to retire here, so he wants to go out and pitch the upper plant and whatever else we have available to try and get some businesses in here. So if you see him out and about, tell him thanks because he's been coming here a lot just for free. We renewed our web hosting plan with Bluehost. Nancy aided me with that. The travel guide for Visit NC, we worked on that deadline and got that stuff to that publication. Our Facebook likes are just shy of 1,000. We're up from 875 last month. The annual ad for the Smoky Mountain Regional brochure, we gave them photos. That's the same thing that travel guide, sorry about that. A number of funding forms have been emailed out. We've sent out to Toccoa Valley, Centertown, Robbinsville, Fontana, and numerous other people. Teresa came and gave me her packet for the town of Robbinsville, and I've had a few other people send theirs back, so they're in that big pile of brochures or budget stuff for us to go through. We came up last year that if you came to ask Travel and Tourism for some money, that you fill out the form, and you show your budget of how you plan on spending the money, and then you have to report back when you get done on how you spend your money. Yeah. And then we're going to also be getting out to all the partners, the accommodation partners. Killboy.com, if you've seen on his website some of the aerial footage that he's been taking, he is trying to put together what we're going to call an advertising package, which would include some aerials of your business and or aerials of attractions. And then some people, their inside photos are not really desirable when it's compared to other folks' inside photos. He's planning on coming in and doing some lighting work to give you some better photos for the inside of your accommodation, and he's going to be trying to put that package together. So if you go to killboy.com, you can see some of those aerials that he's been working on.
See if I looked at those.
I've seen Fontana's today. They were beautiful.
I saw that this morning, yeah. I was like, who did that?
Yeah, that's
I saw it on
with
Facebook.
with his drone. He's been doing some work around. So he's able to fly and get in positions that we all wish we had pictures of our property that we've never been able to have. So it's really, I think Robert Rankin, somebody told me he had even paid a cherry picker to try and get this certain angle, but they never could get the right angle. And as soon as the drone got out there, he got the picture he's been looking for many, many years. So this is only going to put all of our accommodations in a more favorable light. I'm really excited about this because pictures sell. I mean, if you look at a property and it looks really appealing to you, and you can see the whole property versus just what the little bit they want to show you, there's nothing to hide. You know what you're getting, and people like every kind of experience. You don't have to be big and luxurious to sell somebody. Sometimes they're looking for budget.
Fontana right now, you have your flowering trees, and it's just the height of beauty right now. And that it would be a good time to get that shot too. Looking up the, I was down there a couple of years ago, looking up the river with all the flowering shrubs and everything. It is too done. It's really, maybe you'll catch some of that.
Right. That he's trying to get that package out there. I mean, we can't make people. I did talk to Nancy about possibly travel and tourism, and some people didn't take a bite. You know, should we pay for him to just go take one shot of each hotel? Again, it's just up for discussion for the board when we get into
the budget for sure, and maybe you can have an idea of what the cost would be.
Yeah. Just to go get the one shot from like Toccoa Valley, the dam, Joyce Kilmer.
My grandkids wanted shots of the Iron Horse. That's where they wanted their picture made. Yeah.
Bring them over.
Yeah,
I did. I did.
So we've got the one budget workshop already set up, but I know that we're going to have to schedule some more. I know everybody can attend, but we just need to try and do our best. This meeting, I was planning on bringing my box for us to sort through, because that's part of.
What is the box?
The box
It's
is
like the funnel. You put everything in the top of the funnel, and
then
you weed out a lot of things.
So are they just things that are
I've collected over the year.
Okay.
Some things I've emailed out to you, some of them you've probably ignored, but now is the time for us to
Have
go
you gone
through
through and put in priority what you are recommending for the board?
Nope, but I can as I pull it know what I think is gonna work, but everybody has their own opinion.
Can you do that maybe prior to the meeting on Monday?
Maybe.
And present?
It's this thing.
Okay, but present like what you would prioritize, and then at least we will have done the things that you're thinking will be helpful.
Okay.
And then we can go through the rest as we can.
And then I hope you guys jog my memory for some stuff, because it's just, it's, you know how it is, we forgot this or we forgot that, and I just hate that, but you
Just-
can't be perfect.
Always think about what we're getting the return on, what is working for us.
All right, so that is my director's update for you guys for this past month. So we do have the 21st from 9 to 12 at the Extension office. The next meeting is Thursday, May 8th. That is when the opt-in regional meeting is over in Cherokee that you had to RSVP to because you might not have a spot if you didn't. I would really like the board to entertain maybe the following Thursday or a different day. Or maybe back the meeting up earlier in the day. I don't know how you guys want to play this.
What time does that meeting start?
5:30.
In the afternoon?
Mm-hmm. So we can actually meet like at 1.
We could.
Does everybody else have their calendars here?
What day are we looking at?
May 8th.
I don't know which Parkway Association board meeting.
So you wouldn't have been there anywhere though that day, would you?
Okay. Either the previous Wednesday or the following Thursday. What's everybody thinking?
The following Thursday, there's a great meeting that day,
What's that?
at 11:30
That's a
to
picnic at Dakota.
11:30 to
that's
1:30. We could do that.
Can we
We
do,
could do it there.
continue our meeting? And have the meeting there
Yeah, fine.
after the break meeting.
So it's all I have to do is post it on the board and newspaper that we're changing the venue.
When,
Okay.
Are
John,
you,
are you
is that
good?
good for you, John?
when are we doing it?
15th?
Same time, but just at Socoa Valley, it would be closer to you.
I'm in favor of closer.
Okay.
That works for me.
But
Could we
this,
visit
this, would
3
you
o'clock?
want it directly after? What time is it?
1:30 to,
Yeah, 1:32.
everybody, the meeting after the meeting is what's so important, so that ends between 1:30 and 2. If you know
Well,
what
why
I
don't we
mean.
just do it at 2 o'clock then,
Okay.
instead of 3, you know?
I'm good with that. Move it to 2 instead of 3, rather than have, no. I don't know.
2?
Okay, so I make a motion that we move the regularly scheduled meeting from Thursday, May the 8th to Thursday, May 15th at 2 o'clock, and the location be changed to Dakota.
Second.
All in favor?
Are y'all going to that opt-in meeting?
I made the reservation to go. If you want to carpool, anybody, if you want to, let me know. Everybody's got that inputted? Is there any other business that you guys need to discuss? Oh, I've got one more. Dang, I almost forgot my own. We talked about having a social media proposal. If you guys will take one of those and pass this down. I would like to have the board's permission to go back and kind of tweak this a little bit. I love option 1, I love option 2, but I think somewhere maybe there's some things that we don't have in place from a foundation standpoint that she has one-time setup fees for. I don't think there's any way to get around that. Yeah, this is something for you to study and then go to budget. But this, I do think no matter what, it's going to need some tweaking. But this is your study sheet.
Is this Mary?
This is Mary Ann, and she's the one that takes care of Swain County, and who is the other one? Smoky Mountain Host. Does she do yours too, Darlene?
Yeah.
She has about,
She does like the music drill.
yeah, she has about 50 huge clients.
And what's good about her is that she shares it all on everybody's
Regional.
page.
It's a regional effort, and
Yeah.
I think it would be maybe worth considering doing some of this. Because I know, we would love to, speaking from a center standpoint, and I'm sure everybody else would love to be able to sit on Facebook all day, but we don't have time.
We don't have time.
And we need somebody to do it, because if we don't, like this Google Plus, that's supposed to be, an up and coming visual media, and we use it for our concerts, and our sound person Jeremy Brown knows all about it. I don't have a clue about it,
And he does
it's just easier. But I mean, those types of things, if we don't get in, when they're coming about, you can
Training,
miss
yeah.
them.
So that is the proposal, so take a look at that over.
So
Anything else?
Jeremy will be helping set up whatever we project or have for the meet and greet.
Well, I don't know if it'll be Jeremy, but we'll
Okay.
have somebody to, I mean, we'll need it in a format from Tabitha, either a PDF or whatever this report is going to be, or a CD or something that we can flash drive, whatever that we can.
Okay.
And if we are to get, 10 people RSVP, we'll make it a more intimate thing and not make them feel, done auditorium.
Lost.
So we'll figure it out as we.
We start now.
Well, yeah, because it's the 17th today, so we do need to get those out. Speaking of the Blue Ridge Music Trail, these came out last week, and I ordered some more Tabitha to put in the Travel and Tourism office, but in here is the Blue Ridge Music Trail map, and there's a very exceptional website that's theblueridgemusicnc.com, and Fading Voices and Stowe Valley Center are listed in this brochure. There is going to be a statewide marketing initiative through the North Carolina Arts Council and the Blue Ridge National Heritage Area. Really around, we have so many roots in music, and that North Carolina be branded the music state, and it's always been Tennessee. And there's been just a lot of research and things done around this, so and a lot of.
Are they showcasing by county and region the artists that come, are our artists on there like Bonnie Millsaps and the Jody Brown Family Singers and?
I don't think yet.
Not yet,
I don't
okay.
think yet. I think that was that's something that's going to happen later on. Right now, they're just trying to get the
The
venues.
launch and the venues, okay.
Yeah, it's not, and Darlene, you were at this meeting too, and I did ask the question about that, because I think, part of the mission around this is supporting these musicians. But right now, it's getting the word out about the history and the venues and the places where these activities are still taking place. I'm sure that at some point, the Blue Ridge National Heritage Area and the North Carolina Arts Council already have artist directories, and it may be likely that some of that is entered into the directory. I don't know if there will be a direct result on this website.
Okay.
But I ordered 600 of the brochures for you, and they're just going to send them to the center, and you can take these with you, and I'll bring you, when I get those, I'll bring you some more.
Okay.
But there's already some media around this. This was in the Asheville paper, Keeping Heritage Alive, and it's all about the Blue Ridge Music Trail. There's a guidebook that has all, that's an actual book that was published last year. So it's a great benefit, free marketing for us. There's a marketing toolkit where you can put the logo and that, we're a county on the trail, so we should probably try to do that. It's free.
Okay.
That brings me to think about our Heritage Festival that we hold each year. We have so many musicians in this county, and so many of them are studying in your facility over there, also there, and in a Tri-County here, and youngsters who are excellent musicians. I'm being told that I've heard some of them. And maybe at some point in time before Ronnie Millsap dies, we can get him back in the county. And this would be a good path toward that, I think.
It would.
I do think there would be some great partnerships to help make that happen, to help facilitate the whole process.
Well, and maybe instead of it being from a perspective of county government or travel and tourism, maybe it is an organization like Stokoe Valley Center or nonprofit. That it's not political, it's not past, it's not any of those things. And maybe the approach could be made in a different way from that standpoint.
And he would be, I think, be very receptive to the people with the fading voices. He himself has a large community charity.
Well, I think it's worth discussing as
It
well.
is.
I really do. I think that's something that in our tourism plan, when we get to the development stage of that, if that's something that we want, I mean, it's going to be all of us talking about it, and the community members talking about what we want this tourism plan. And we need to know, okay, is that a goal we want? I mean, right now we don't really have a map.
If we have a plan to make North Carolina the music state, and certainly that will open the door for us here.
Yeah.
In this area, we already listed in the brochure. Did you say Jody Brown was listed?
No, I
No,
mentioned
You
his
mentioned
name.
him, just the fading voices.
And Stokoe Valley Center.
I went to a listening time over there at Stokoe Valley, and I mentioned a bunch of singers and the folks that were visiting with us that day. They weren't aware of like all the different, so they compiled a lot of information.
That's when they were doing the research around the actual music trail guidebook, which is a very nice book. And that was more local talent versus regional impact and venues. And that's what they're kind of starting with are the places that you can go for this traditional music. But this is there's quite a lot of support, not just financial, but other support in the region around this music trail. So I think, it's just partnering with those folks to get more people.
You see the local musicians open to performing. They want an opportunity to do that. And I know during the Heritage Festival here, you have your own entertainers in Montana, but there's enough going on. And the more people from locally that we can incorporate into the Heritage Festival, the better.
Well, and one nice thing about this website is that, and Teresa was at this meeting as well, so she's fully aware. You can go in and there's like an 8-question criteria to see if your event meets the music trail criteria. And then the Heritage Festival can be posted on there, your Friday night or weekend that you have on the grill patio or whatever it is that y'all have. As long as you meet those criteria, our Harvest Festival will be on there, and of course our summer events.
Your blogging event for sure, Dawn.
Yeah, that's what Angie said, that we could be like one of the ones that stay on. We're not yet, but I mean,
Right.
it's on there.
Yeah, we're not.
Because we do have clogging, we do have slow dancing. So all that.
And as long as it's open to the public and accessible by the public.
We have the dancing on the square here. That it certainly needs to be.
And that, by the way, that starts here at the end of May. So be on the lookout for that, because that'll give anybody that comes into your facilities that thing to do, and it's really fun. If anything, if they just like to be a voyeur and watch, it's still really fun.
I mean, I think this is
so so informal. Usually everybody dances.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I have to drag some people out onto the dance floor every so often.
Well, just get it.
Yeah, I do. Come on, we're going square dancing.
All right.
I think this is also, maps are, John, as far, but giving these to people that even motorcyclists, to say, hey, there's some other places that you can go. It's promoting that type of musical heritage in our entire region.
Right.
So I think it's kind of interesting, not just for us. We're hoping to have that reciprocate from other counties, but I think it's could be more than what it is.
We certainly want to improve on what we have for people to do once they come to see you, John, and you, Darlene, in this county.
I'm about to do my PSA for the travel and tourism partner, so Lisa, if you even want to zoom in here, because I really need The deadline for this publication for 2015 is June 15th, but I've given the accommodation partners the deadline of May 15th, because it'll take me a month to get everything inputted. I've already started. I did put an email out to all the accommodation partners. I need to put one out to as many attractions as I can to be sure that they're reviewing their listing on Visit NC and our website, and I need a 1200 megapixel picture for the Visit NC website. That is something they're giving a free picture to every listing, but if you don't get the picture to me, then you won't have that special look on the website, and it is very beautiful.
That motorcycle with the flag on there.
I've had a number of different people respond, and I just need those responses, because as soon as I get them, I try and log in what I can, get it done, change their description, sell the experience, not so just 4-bedroom, 2-bath. That's important, but sell the experience that they're going to have while they're at your accommodation and or your venue.
And that's on Visit NC.
That's on Visit NC. But also look at your listing on GrahamCountyTravel.com, because if we've made any mistakes, this is the time of year that we need to try and get those things accomplished for the summer season.
Yeah, and every one of our partners has that information.
I emailed it out.
Including the company.
Yes. So, that is it.
Will you send me a letter out there? I might be involved. I know, good luck to me. Yeah.
We wish you all the best.
Thank you. Yeah, I see this challenge. I'm get me working really hard.
Yeah.
I don't like to lose. I'm a very poor loser.
Yeah. Anybody else?
We're not perfect, but we're getting better.
There you go.
The only other thing I wanted to mention is next Thursday, April 24th at 10 o'clock is the next Great Travel and Tourism and Mountain Culture Committee meeting, and it will be at Extension Office.
And Beth knows I'm not there because I'm in Leesburg.
Right.
And
And
the tourism meeting,
it's the Tourism and Mountain
The
Culture.
Great.
and
Yeah,
Mountain
the Great.
Culture, okay.
And we had talked at the last Travel and Tourism meeting about either combining those or having the Great meeting before, or I guess we probably would do it before, or in conjunction with.
Yeah, because you have the town of Robbinsville Travel and Tourism at 11 o'clock that day. So that makes it difficult.
Now, do they meet at the extension office also?
I think they need.
I think they meet at town hall,
What time is this meeting?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
and hers is at 11 is
Okay,
what I
how long does that meeting usually run?
An hour and a half. I mean, we'll just shorten it that day, but one of the things we want to discuss at that meeting is about what came up at the last Travel and Tourism meeting. I mean, Great is a great partner, for lack of a better word, but I think that if, in some of the things that are coming up, the more that we can all meet together, or,
I agree. I'm
you know,
usually
there'd
in
be
the
more.
veterans office then, but I can make sure I don't have, I can
Come over
home
for-
visit. Yeah.
So that's next Thursday, the 24th at 10.
Where's it?
Any other
At the
business?
Extension Office,
Is that the municipal hill?
the old sheriff's office.
And I have are you guys good down there?
Main Street, behind one, in front of the health department.
Oh, okay. Got it.
The one she just talked about?
No.
Yes, that is at the extension office. Okay. Anybody else? All parts clear? As we say in church.
Chucky. And,
I sent him about $10,000 worth of business, personally. And that came from just being exposed to him through
right.
the
And I'll say
GT.
mine off camera.
And
Okay.
I don't know that that makes him happy or unhappy, but I don't know what more you can do.
Well, I'm sorry I brought it up.
No,
Since we-
it's okay, it's okay. I think we just tuck it away and keep moving forward. I'd love to say leaps and bounds are in our future, but I'll take
They
baby
really
steps
are.
until we get there.
Right.
And one thing that I've found, and I think most people have, the more you interact with your travel and tourism, your chamber, whoever, the more you get out of it.
So,
Right.
If you can't just sit back and not do anything to try to make it better.
indeed. And this facility is the type of people who would pick up the brochure for this at the Grove Park.
Right.
And they would come in. So it's just a different kind of marketing, and you have some of it, and I think all of it is, all of his rooms are like that, and I'm proud of that. I'm really proud of that facility. I'd like to be able to tell people about it. It's awesome that we have it here in this county.
I think you're absolutely right, but I think the other thing that's just a point that's overlooked is we're not charging this facility or him personally this tax.
No, it's a pass-through
It's
tax.
collected. We're not, I understand the percentages that he's quoting here, but I don't think that that's accurate, that we're actually trying to tax someone that we're not paying.
No, the word indirect cost comes to mind. So indirect referrals, but once again, that came from your association with
There you go.
this entity.
Then you never know who that's going to
No, indeed.
come from.
Exactly.
No. And I have asked that Brad Hodgson, who has the hunting reserve here, that he might keep some brochures for that facility, because the people who were doing the hunting here were initially staying at the Grove Park Inn in Asheville. Now, that's the time of the year that he's closed. But if you had 3 months where you could fill every room that you have, it might be lucrative to open
Well,
for that particular time. And I've asked Brad to give him a yell and talk to him about that. He said he would.
If Brad doesn't want them, we'll take them.
Sure.
I mean, if Ronnie doesn't want that kind of.
Okay. All right. But, okay, I'll ask Brad to give you a yell.
I know Brad.
Okay.
We've met.
Super. He's a nice guy.
I hope not for speeding.
Well,
I said I
no,
hope not for speeding.
some of our guests had a little incident, so we got a
Yes.
chance to meet.
He's a great guy.
He is.
Mhm. He'll help you out. He'll work with you.
Yeah, he didn't give me a ticket. So, I mean, the time that we met.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.